So there's actually two stories about Justice Cameron that I would like to bring. One is, and why he's here. One is, many of you know about our work in Malawi, where we've been working for 20 years. We've got 300 employees, 10 million a year annual budget, a zillion faculty there. We've trained. In fact, many of you also know that we established a very tight south-to-south relationship in terms of training Malawians at WITS and University of Cape Town that's going on now for 6 years. And then they come back and are physicians in the major hospitals in Malawi. We're repopulating the physicians there. But what you don't know is the relationship between the University of North Carolina and the Republic of South Africa. And this dates back to exactly 11 years ago, when a very tall guy came in with a funny-looking German jacket. I got an email that he was visiting the U.S. and could he spend the day with me. And that was Ian Sana. And that began a relationship between UNC and WITS, and which has now grown to 4 universities in South Africa, University of KwaZulu-Natal, University of Cape Town, Stellenbosch, and WITS. 12 UNC faculty members, and I totaled it up last night. It's led to more than $50 million worth of NIH grants that are either ongoing or in the last 10 years, and $150 million of USAID money that's gone to our collaborators there. And it's a true partnership where initially we mentored them, but now they're writing the grants and we're on their grants for a percentage of our efforts. And it's had a dramatic effect, and now we have UNC faculty members who have homes in Johannesburg. Trainees go there, their trainees come here. So it's been a wonderful relationship and beneficial, I think, both to UNC and the citizens of South Africa. So that's the one story. The other story is there was a wonderful historian, a Yale historian, now deceased, named Eric Erickson. And he wrote a series of biographies about great historical figures, and it was called Psychohistory. And what he did is he was a psychiatrist as well as a historian, and he talked about, one of them was, for instance, on Martin Luther. He did talk about how some of them, the person's mishigas, craziness, worked well with what was happening in the world at the time. But I think what I like to think about it is that there are certain people, their psychological makeup, and their private lives and their public persona, along with what's going on, the cataclysmic events in history, and they end up being the great leaders of our time. So I told Justice Cameron that I wasn't going to recite all his degrees. And as many of you know, I brought back 10 copies of his book when it came out, autographed by him. I drove him crazy at Joburg at a signing. He gave a talk, and I made him sign 10 copies there. And I brought him back for many of you here in the audience. But that I wanted to talk about how what he did is that he, his private life and his public life as a constitutional court justice and the cataclysmic events of South Africa has made him one of the singular figures in global history, and a leader that. And that you just have to, really be so happy to be in his presence and that he's willing to speak to us. And so you're a truly great guy, and we're glad you're going to spare us